Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about the security precautions being taken in DC. I'm going to answer some questions because a whole lot of them came in last night, mainly because the media appears to be leaning into a non story, in my opinion. But to answer the questions, you have to know a little bit about the cat and mouse game that is security. There are two kinds of capability in the security world. There is perceived capability, what the public believes the security level is. And then there's actual capability, what the security level really is. Those two things are almost never the same. A good example of perceived capability is a stadium. On game day, you walk up, there's somebody there with a wand, there are cops everywhere, you go through a metal detector, they're looking in bags, you empty your pockets. It seems really secure. It's not. It's not even close. There is a large security presence at common entry and exit points. It's perception, it's a deterrence. 90% of security is perception, but it doesn't achieve actual capability. A good place, a good example of actual capability is Disney World. Disney World has amazing security, but it doesn't look like a fortress. I mean, with the exception of the castle, of course. The camera coverage that's there is astounding. The speed at which they can recover a lost child, which is a really good test of security capability, is amazing. That is actual capability. So perceived capability keeps the mice away. Actual capability catches the mice if they show up. DC. Why do they have so many troops? Because this time they're going for actual capability. Locking down a sizable portion of a city and actually locking it down requires a lot of people. In the past, they have probably relied heavily on perceived capability. You see the people out there in uniform, you assume that it's really locked down. Probably hasn't been. Mainly because that's the outer ring. When you're talking about an event like this, there are rings of security. The closer you get to, in this case, the people being protected, the more stringent the security. The National Guard, they're going to be on the outer two rings, more than likely. They're probably not even going to be close to the people being protected. That leads to the story. The FBI is vetting all the troops because they're worried. No, that's really common. That is incredibly common. I would be really surprised if that didn't always happen. Private details, private security details, vet the off-duty cops that form up the outer ring of those details. So I would be really surprised if that didn't happen with major events like this. Then the next question is, why is the FBI doing it rather than the Army itself? If you watch the video about Fort Hood, you know I speak very highly of Army investigators. They're really good. They're also really slow, and we don't have a lot of time. That's one reason. The other reason is the FBI has an entire division that this is their jam. This is what they do. The counterintelligence division at the FBI, their job is to investigate foreign intelligence operations in the United States. So, when a foreign power conducts an intelligence operation in the U.S., most times the goal is getting to a U.S. government employee who is compromised or turning them, which means this particular division is really good at investigating our own people. They do it all the time, day in and day out. So they can process through that massive number of troops very quickly because they already have people with that skill set. So that's the reason this stuff is occurring. Is there a realistic threat from this? I mean, is it likely that one of them is sympathetic to Trump's cause? Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's probably true. Are they going to act on it? I doubt it, because by all signs, they are going for actual capability. And these people, they're going to be the outer ring. They're going to be outward facing. They're not even going to be near the people who are being protected. And they would have to go through security to get close. They would have to go through more stringent security. So I don't see it as likely. Is it worth expending all of the effort that they're doing? Yes. The events at the Capitol showed that right now they can't rely on perceived capability. They have to rely on actual capability. So they are proceeding with an abundance of caution, which is the right thing to do. As far as I know, as far as the public statements, as far as the activities that we're seeing, nothing indicates that they have a specific threat or that they have flagged anybody. This is pretty normal behavior. The only thing that is abnormal is the number of troops. And that's just because they're going for actual capability rather than the perception of it. Again, right now, I think because the events of yesterday, by the time y'all watch this, weren't heavily attended, nothing got out of control, the media wanted to keep people's interests up. So they're leaning into what is kind of a non-story. I wouldn't worry about this too much. I don't think that if there is some incident, I don't think that it would come from the National Guard. Is it a possibility? Sure. Is it worth looking into? Sure. Is it the highest priority? No. And I don't think they're treating it as a high priority. I think the media's just picked up on this. I would point out that the security detail for this event doesn't just have to worry about what everybody's been talking about. The United States has other opposition groups that would be very happy to disrupt this. And they have to achieve actual capability against all of them. Because right now, because of the events of the Capitol and the actions of the people there, all of the foreign opposition groups are emboldened. So it makes the job much more difficult. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.